Hello, it is May 25th, 2016, and you are listening to the Kleb and Pack Show. I am Kleb, and as usual, this is my bearded, wondrous friend, Pack. How are you this afternoon?
Hola, Kleb.
Hola! Overwatch, Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Die, die, die. Cheers, love. The cavalry's here. I just got that voice back, and I've spammed it to no end.
Oh no.
Everyone hates me. But we'll be talking about Overwatch a little bit later today. Our docket for this lovely evening is Whispers of the Old Gods. We're going to talk about the new set, talk about new standard. We're going to talk about Salt and Sanctuary, a 2D Dark Souls like. I want to chat about Rust for a little bit, and then I want to chat about the biggest surprise and welcome surprise of the year for me, which is Doom. And then we're going to wrap it all up with a little bit of Overwatch chatter. How's that sound?
That sounds lovely. Let's get to it.
Sounds lovely. Okay, let's start with Whispers of the Old Gods. And I've arguably, this probably won't be that much because I haven't played nearly as much Hearthstone as I would like. It is it has basically been sort of fallen to the wayside. There's been a lot of games I wanted to play, and Hearthstone has just sort of like been just something to play casually to do my quests and move on. I haven't actively tried to play any ranked at all or anything like that.
I mean, it's interesting you say it like that because that's exactly how I want to play Hearthstone because I hate the laddering system. So I just want to get to rank 20 in both standard and wild. And standard has at least revitalized the game for me. Like the
You
meta,
think so, eh?
yeah, like the meta is simple again. Like it reminds me of when Goblins vs. Gnomes came out.
Okay. So zoo all the time. Every time a zoo.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, no, seriously, that's that's definitely correct.
The zoo decks and the decks that beat zoo decks.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep.
The standard is very interesting. It removed a bunch of cards that I think would have been very good in this heavily zoo meta. Like Shaman aggro and like Warlock aggro are just so good right now. Some of these,
Who would have thought?
yeah.
Shaman was like a whole class that was like put to the wayside.
It's really good now. They
Yeah.
got some really good cards.
Well, good. I hear that this is the new Secret Paladin. This is the stupid deck to play.
This is the cancer.
Yeah.
Is this the cancer of Hearthstone?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've enjoyed playing it. I have not played any wild, funnily enough. I've only played standard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice. It's nice to sort of like work with deck building again and fiddle with the new cards and, you know, see these new legendaries that are sort of fun to build around. Like I really like my Yogg-Saron mage deck. I think that's really fun. Even if 9 times out of 10 he just wipes the board and kills himself.
Right.
I very rarely win when I cast Yogg. Usually nothing happens.
But it's fun.
It is fun. He's
What a
very
fun effect. Yeah.
Yeah. Cthulhu's pretty cool. Building decks around him is okay. It's been, the cards have been very nice. But I think that Hearthstone's purely a casual game for me right now.
Oh, totally. You'd have to spend a lot of time in it to not like to be ranked in, I guess, like top 5 or 5 or below to legend.
Yeah.
And like the meta is quite the same up until then. So I hear it's never like I've been to rank 5, but knowing that, it's just fun to play 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. Unfortunately, I have different toilet games now.
Oh yeah, Clash Royale is taking over your life.
I mean, if you watch my mobile gaming video, then yeah,
Link in the description.
Exactly.
Plug. Slut. There you go.
Yeah, those games are taking a lot more of my time, and Hearthstone it's the same old, but at least Standard kind of revitalized it.
Yeah, it's a nice change. It's nice that the format will sort of like warp a little bit. Although I haven't actually experienced how Whispers of the Old God really affects Wild, which is interesting.
Right.
Although I do. I miss Light Bomb a lot.
Light Bomb. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I miss Light Bomb a lot. That is
Yeah.
a set. Also, apparently, Old Murkai isn't standard legal.
Who?
Old Murkai. So the Murloc legendary that gets
Right. Yeah.
because he's a reward card, and I did air quotes right there, but he's a reward card, which means you can't actually use him in standard.
Oh, so
Yeah, he
Elite Tauren
rotated out.
Chieftain is also, I mean, not
No, Epic Torrent Chieftain's fine.
But that's also a reward card, isn't it?
No,
Oh,
the 3 reward cards. I can actually look this up. I won't look this up because it'll be me opening Hearthstone for 5 minutes. But it's like Murkai. It's that someone's an awesome invention. That guy.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And it's the pirate, the parrot
I think I know who you mean.
who gets a pirate from your deck.
That was a reward.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Or it's the other pirate guy, but I can't remember. Doesn't matter.
Mm.
But yeah, so those are not in there anymore, which means like the hilarious Murloc deck lacks a awesome finisher.
Interesting. Yeah, because there's a lot like of good. I would say there's good Murloc cards in Whispers of the Old Gods.
I played against a really mean like Paladin Murloc deck, which really destroyed me.
Right. One of the new cards is the Paladin hero power changes to summon
Yeah,
a Murloc.
to make
yeah.
Murlocs.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. So it's been good. I've enjoyed it. It's pretty much purely a casual game now, though. There's a lot of RNG that was added with this set, and I feel like that's probably, for me, that's a nail in the coffin in any sort of like try hardness with
Yeah.
Hearthstone.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm playing a lot of Arena actually.
Have you? I haven't touched it.
Yeah, a lot more of the quests are giving like 50 gold, 60 gold now. So like my Arena 150 comes up more often. So I'm like, you know what? Why not?
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
fair. Yeah. I mean, if you enjoy that kind of thing, I've always had a hard time with Arena, so I have kind of stopped doing it.
But like
maybe it's
to your
time
point of combining all the wild cards and Whispers of the Old God cards, they do that. They like all the cards are available to you. So right, so you get to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's a good set. There are some good cards in it. It's just a matter of time before the next thing comes around.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right. When would that be due? Do you suppose?
Oh, who knows? End of the summer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably.
Like end of
November. Yeah. End of August. That's
It would be an adventure, right?
yes.
Yeah.
That's when Legion comes out too.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. I'm playing a lot of WoW.
When does the Warcraft movie come out?
June 10.
Reviews say it's hot garbo so far.
Really? I have heard good things.
Have you?
Yes. From
Probably
from
wrong.
WoW players.
Okay.
Because it's already out in Europe.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
And apparently, I haven't read the review yet, but The Guardian in the UK, they said that it's commentary on racial differences in the US. Yeah.
The Guardian would say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be my type of movie. It looks horrible. Like, the trailers make it look so bad. Like, I love those really crappy fantasy movies.
Fair.
So, hopefully it lives up to my standards.
That's fair.
Yep.
I will see it, most likely.
Of course.
Probably won't like to.
It sucks that in Canada we don't get any promotions. Not that I really need the free month of WoW right now, but
Yeah, for real. Like
Yeah.
you're so deep in WoW, they don't need to give you a free month.
they gave us free transmog.
That's cute.
Yeah, Staff of Gul'dan and Axe of something. Because I'm a Horde player, so I'm assuming the Alliance get a cool shield and sword. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I have not played WoW since we played for a little bit and then sort of had a falling out with it. I don't know. It hasn't really improved at all.
Yeah, I want to beat it. I have this new thing that I want to beat it. I want to get.
What do you mean beat
I
it?
want to get Lore Master. So let it be known now that I'm.
You're staking your claim. You're gonna get every freaking achievement.
No, Lore Master is just every quest.
Oh, a
Not
lot.
every quest, but like 150, say in Borean Tundra,
okay.
is part of it. So
I think Axel might have Lore Master.
it's quite the achievement.
I would check his achievement page next time you get a
It
chance.
would not surprise me.
He was a machine. He played WoW for a long time.
Yeah,
So I would check. That's interesting.
I feel
He
like
might
once I
have.
get that, I might be able to put the game down and just pick it up.
Big might.
Might. It is fun playing in the catch-up time. I will say that. Like,
I guess. I don't know.
like where it's so easy to gear up, and I could just raid finder to the last raid right now, which is all I
Yeah.
wanted to do. I still haven't beat Archimond, but
Our command. Don't
Okay,
you dare
okay, Mr.
pronounce it like that.
Cthulhu. You're the only person I know who says Cthulhu.
What do you say?
Cthulhu, like a normal person.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, and I say Cthulhu when you
Cthulhu.
say Cthulhu.
Oh my god.
Yes,
Is there actual recorded dialogue in WoW of people saying Cthulhu? Probably not, eh?
probably
It's
not.
purely
I've heard a lot of streamers say like Cthulhu, Cthulhu, Cthulhu. You know?
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Cthulhu, like Cthulhu. I guess that's fair.
Which is obviously where the name comes from, right?
No, duh. Thank you.
Not Clifford the Big Red Dog.
No.
No.
Like it's like old gods, right? They're all Lovecraftian horrors.
Oh,
that
exactly. Yeah.
Blizzard has ripped off. Yeah. Yogg Saron is Yogg Sothoth.
Yep. I'm not familiar with any H.P. Lovecraft. I just
There
know
you
he
go.
exists.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Read the mildly racist musings, and by mildly I mean incredibly.
Well, is there any other kind?
Well, I mean it's Lovecraft. The guy was a product of his environment.
Yeah.
let's move on to lighter but darker pastures. Let's talk about Salt and Sanctuary for a little bit, because we
Let's.
both grabbed this,
Yeah.
and I liked it, but I have a sort of interesting opinion on it. But I think I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I only beat the first boss, and then I put it down to play Witcher 3 because that was what I set on our long weekend. I was like, you know what? This game looks sick. I'm gonna play it.
There you
And Witcher 3 was amazing.
How much time did you put into Witcher 3 over the weekend?
4 or 5 hours.
Did you beat like the starting zone?
I think so. I took down the Griffin.
Okay, so that's like near the end of the starting zone,
Okay.
if not the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to find Yennefer. I am playing in Polish, which I think is
Are
interesting.
you actually Polish dialogue with subtitles?
Polish dialogue with
That's
English
awesome.
subtitles?
I didn't do that. I found the voice acting to be very
No,
acceptable.
apparently even the Polish voice acting is in some points worse. But I think it just gets lost in translation. I think
Probably.
yeah, there's some points where they say one Polish word, but then it's like a full sentence in English. I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably a matter of like it's probably the English subtitles
Yeah.
as opposed to like Polish subtitles. You know what I mean? Like it's not the
Oh.
Polish translation; it's the English subtitle.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so it just must be like different intonations of Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting to hear the different accents of Polish as well.
Do you have the DLC? Are you going to be playing it?
Yeah,
Or do you just have
apparently
the
I
game?
bought the expansion pass when I bought the game, so
Sick.
I could just install Blood and Wine when I want to, but I'm
On the 30th, yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I wasn't expecting to talk about Witcher 3.
Sure.
I've basically 100%ed that game.
Yeah.
I've done every quest.
Wow.
I found every point of interest on the map, and I've done the DLC. I just haven't New Game Plused it
Right.
because it was so long. So I just played the game one time. Because I put like, let me see what I have on Steam. But I put a lot of time into Witcher 3, and it was excellent. I enjoyed every second of it. I put 93 hours.
Wow. You know
I put
what?
nearly 100 hours into this
That's
game.
not a lot when you compare it to something like Skyrim.
Yeah, but Skyrim has no direction. Witcher has direction.
Okay, that's true. That's true. I wonder how quickly I can beat it if I just follow the main storylines and
Probably pretty fast. The main storyline itself isn't that long. There is a ton of side quests. A ton.
yeah.
So many. Also, it has one of the best DLCs I've ever played in my entire life.
That's a bold claim.
Heart of Stone is so good. The story is almost better than the... You know what? The story is better than the main game.
Wow.
The main game's plot is like your classic high fantasy nonsense.
Yeah, like well, so far all I know is that I'm just looking for my ex-lover Yennefer or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
ex-lover or
You haven't played the first two, right? This is your first Witcher
Right.
game,
Yep.
really. Yeah.
Yep.
So the main plot line is like end of days, species from another dimension, child of prophecy. It's like
oh,
you'll get into it more, but basically like it's very classic like high fantasy rigmarole.
yeah,
Heart of Stone is so different and it's so good, and the plot is unremarkable but so well told, and the characters are very good.
aha,
So honestly, if it were to interest you, I would say just make a Heart of Stone character and play the DLC as a standalone plot.
I might do
'Cause
that
it's-
if I'm just going to
'cause-
rush through the game and do the main plot anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple really good side quests, mind you. And I feel like you would do yourself a disservice if you didn't pick at them and do them. But the problem is that if you do them as they come up, the game takes a long time.
Yep, that's for sure.
It's a very long game. If you mainline the plot, you'll probably finish it very quickly.
That's good to know, because
Yeah.
I have a long list of games I need to play, including Salt and Sanctuary, which I decided I would pick up when I beat Witcher 3.
Yeah. So I've come to an interesting conclusion with Salt and Sanctuary. This game was very acclaimed before Dark Souls 3 came out. And I was listening to a couple other podcasts that had a very similar opinion on this. But I think Salt and Sanctuary is a good game, but at the same time, its true success was basically making me want to play Dark Souls 3. Because after playing a couple hours into Salt and Sanctuary, I put it down and picked up Dark Souls 3 again.
Wow, okay.
So I think that while Salt and Sanctuary is a good game, it just doesn't hold a candle to Dark Souls. Not even close.
From my perspective, having never played Dark Souls, I think the formula set forth in Salt and Sanctuary is very good. I think the fact that it's 2D and a side scroller and platformer, like that type of style, just really works well with the hard enemies as well.
Yeah.
The combat is fun.
Yeah.
It's not like, from my perspective, only being one boss, it's simple to learn, difficult to master.
Yeah.
Not even really difficult to master. I don't know.
There's a lot of very similar things that it does that Dark Souls does. I mean, like down to how the base mechanics of the game work. Like you have an Estus flask effectively, you know? It's a set of potions that refills every time you rest. You have souls that you lose when you die and you have to recover them.
Yes.
You know, like the game is so, like, even down to the atmosphere and how the levels laid out and how the bosses are introduced. Like the game is 100% a 2D Dark Souls. Is that a good thing? Yeah, I think it is. I think that it's done really well, but it just doesn't hold the candle to the real thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I think which is my real problem.
What about comparing it to, say, one of these older generation platformers, like for Sega Genesis or something? Like nothing that had as much depth as Dark Souls in terms of the RP elements, but you do die a lot, and
yeah,
it does give no, metaphorical fucks about anything about like your life. So in a sense, it's just, it reminds me a lot about, like, really the only a platformer I played to death would have been Shinobi 3 for Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Kind of similar to that, except it's not, the combat's way more difficult. So like, I like that. I do like that it's a more difficult version of a classic platformer.
Yeah, I think that there's as much as it's a love letter to Dark Souls, I think it's also a love letter to those old hard platformer games. But I think that it sort of dances the line between being like a Dark Souls clone and being a platformer, like a 2D action platformer. It sort of like straddles the line between them, and it doesn't do either quite as well as one that's dedicated to that focus. Yeah,
I could see that being the case for Dark Souls, but I remember you showing me that Viking game.
That was Volgar.
Yes. How does it compare to that?
Okay. I think Volgar is a very traditional platformer. There's no leveling. There's no sense of progression. Like each level is go from start to finish and beat it. It isn't about like leveling your character and becoming stronger. It's about being a better player and beating the level. With Salt and Sanctuary, I guess it's a little bit of both. I don't know, like, I was thinking comparing it to something more like Ori and the Blind Forest. And Ori and the Blind Forest is a masterful work of fiction and gaming. Like, it's amazing. It's one of the best platformers I've ever played in my entire life. It's also beautiful and knows exactly what heartstrings to pull to make you tear up inside.
Ooh.
It's wonderful.
What a description.
Yeah, it's really good. It's also the most beautiful game I've ever played.
Yeah, I remember you recommended it to me not too long ago.
It's super good. And I think that is a better game than Salt and Sanctuary.
Wow.
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
100% I think Ori and the Blind Forest is better than Salt and Sanctuary. And Salt and Sanctuary is good It's just that what it's doing has been done before, and I think that the Dark Souls formula definitely works better in 3D.
Okay.
I think the landmarks and the art design allow Dark Souls to get away with a lot of things that Salt and Sanctuary doesn't.
That's true. Dark Souls is very pretty in of
Yeah.
itself. That's
And Salt and Sanctuary isn't really remarkable to look at. It's kind of weird. The character
Very
physics are
dark.
kind of off. There's no landmarks, like there's no discernible things that are like in the landscape that are really nice to look at. So like the game isn't really much of a looker, which is, I mean,
I do like the way it looks, but I see what you're saying. Like compared to Dark Souls, it's not. There's nothing to write home about. It's just
yeah,
it's very just grim dark, very black and white. Well, it's not
exactly.
black and white, but like it is. It's almost like a
It's like a million shades of brown and gray.
yeah.
But I mean, I do think it's a good game. I think the control is really tight. The dodging could use a little work. I always felt like it was kind of janky.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. Yeah.
But I think that like there's a lot of things that I did. It was funny playing that game because I basically approached it the same way I did Dark Souls, and my character ended up being naked because I wanted to be a lot faster and I wanted my dodge to be faster, and I used a big weapon that did a lot of damage. So I ended up playing it a lot like I did with Dark Souls, which is kind of interesting. So I mean, I guess it definitely accomplished the Dark Souls feel, which is good. But it basically made me want to play Dark Souls, which is bad because Dark Souls does everything Salt and Sanctuary does better and is more fun.
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
more fun.
I mean, Salt and Sanctuary was only $15.
I guess you're looking at
Yeah. On
You're
sale.
comparing it
on sale. Like
Yeah.
so. I mean, it's a comparable price to maybe Dark Souls 2,
maybe.
right? And I suppose Dark Souls 2 isn't too far off from Dark Souls 3. I don't know.
Dark Souls 3 is the furthest departure from all the Dark Souls games. It plays like none of them. It's very unique.
Huh.
It's a lot faster.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Salt and Sanctuary. I can't honestly tell you whether I think I'm actually going to be able to get back and finish it. Which
Yeah.
is sad because
Yeah.
I think that it's worth finishing.
I think I would finish it one day. Like
Yeah.
go back to it. Yeah.
I don't think it's super long. Apparently it takes about 20 hours,
Okay.
which is good for a 2D platformer, mind you. That's a
Yeah.
really good length.
Yeah, totally. And I wonder if it gets better.
Yeah, hopefully it does, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I liked playing it for sure, but I liked playing Dark Souls 3 a lot more. 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a shame. It's a shame that it comes down to that. You know, because Salt and Sanctuary is like it's an indie game. Dev team's not that big, and I mean, like From Software makes Dark Souls, like it's huge.
Yeah.
You know, it's been in development for years. It's a shame that I'm saying that like all this game did was make me want to play the AAA version, but
It is. Yeah, because I think Salt and Sanctuary is a work of love.
it definitely is.
Yeah.
The guys wear their influence on their sleeve, and they obviously enjoyed making the game. It's just, and it's a shame that I just don't think it holds up to. It isn't quite 2D Dark Souls. It's like 2D Dark Souls light.
Yeah.
You know what
Like
I mean?
casual. I wonder. It might.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to call it a casual game because it is pretty difficult.
I guess by nature of the save points, it can't be a mobile game.
No,
Yeah. And like if you were to just add any time saving, then it would just be pointless.
be a great DS game.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Great DS game. And the new Monster Hunter comes out at the end of the summer.
End of summer, eh?
In July, yeah.
Huh.
Oh, also Monster Hunter Online.
For North America?
So technically, okay, so complete diet, like complete like off topic, but the English patch, the unofficial / official English patch for the Chinese Monster Hunter Online game comes out on the 30th.
Okay.
And you don't need to VPN to play Monster Hunter Online.
Right.
You can just play.
And you don't need a Chinese ID either.
No, you don't.
Huh.
Yeah. So maybe it's worth checking out because I've looked at some gameplay and it plays a lot like a normal Dark Souls game. Sorry, not Dark Souls, Monster Hunter game, but it's built on the Cry engine and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I especially running on RPCs, I think it'll look
Yeah.
great. I might
Also-
check it out. I love an MMO.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not really an MMO. Like it plays more like Monster Hunter than WoW.
Well, yeah, no, I would expect as much, right? It's just
Yeah.
probably more like probably a modern MMO, which is basically a solo game with other people.
Sort of. Sort of. I won't go into how Monster Hunter like does its multiplayer because that's basically what Monster Hunter Online does. But basically, it is a quest-based thing where you go on the hunt to look for a monster or small monsters, and then when you complete it, you get teleported back to town where all the players are.
Oh, yeah, that's what I expected.
But there's no like quests in an overworld. Like it isn't like Guild Wars where you run around and like
Yeah,
do a bunch of quests at a time. Like you leave town to do one quest,
Oh.
and you go back.
like Neverwinter. Do you remember,
Kinda.
do you remember that one?
It's like Monster Hunter. It's
Okay,
silly
yeah.
to explain it like that. It's like Monster Hunter.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Of course, it's like Monster Hunter.
It is cool looking. I will definitely give it a shot. See if the lag is unbearable, but we'll see.
Yeah. In China, I wonder why not. I don't know. I was gonna say I did play that Black Desert in Korea. It was lag was not bad at all. So
Yeah, maybe it won't be that bad then.
yeah, but if it's a Chinese server, they may have different blockades or whatnot.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? All right, I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about Rust, and I also kind of want to talk about the culling a little bit because they're kind of the same but kind of different.
They've got to be very different, no?
They're I mean, the philosophy is the same, I think.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
for those who don't know, Rust is a multiplayer survival sort of PvP game where you're dropped into a world with nothing but your naked body, a torch, and a rock, and you have to, usually you work with your friends and you establish a base and you chase airdrops and you raid other players' bases. And I sort of went through two phases when I was playing this game. The first was I was invited to a server with a couple of friends who already had a base. And during my time then, it was fun, but I wasn't having a super good time. I wasn't like really invested. I wasn't getting.
You weren't having the full experience.
I definitely wasn't. So, and the neat thing about Rust is that the servers usually reset every month. So your base gets wiped, the server progress gets wiped, and everybody starts from scratch again, which I think is a really good way to foster community because it makes it so that people are always building up and you never have like that one group of guys who has the best base on the server. And no one ever feels too oppressed. And you can always jump to another server if you feel like it. So I really liked that idea. I think that the seasonal design behind the game is very cool. The other thing I liked was that the crafting was really simple. You can craft things instantly. Well, sorry, when I say craft things, I mean build your base. Crafting items takes time, but building your base, as long as you have the materials, is immediate. Which is important because a big focus of the game is building your own base and fighting against other players. It was a lot of fun playing it with a base that was already done. But then when I played it the month after, and I had a buddy of mine, and we went and we made our own base, and we worked on getting our own level of progression and like expanding our own territory, then I had a lot more fun with it, and I'm still having fun with it because I actually feel like I have a stake in what's going on, and I'm invested in what's happening. So I've enjoyed it. I'll probably play more of it. The server that I'm on resets in like a week. So
I had no idea it did the seasonal server resets, actually.
Yeah, I didn't either before I got into it. I always thought it was just like a long running thing like Arc or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But it's purely seasonal. Like and that's because the bases build very quickly and you can usually like finish off very quickly, which is good.
Are the maps huge or?
Yeah. Yeah, the maps are pretty big.
And how many players per server typically?
I was on one that could hold 50 and I was on another one that could hold 100.
Okay, did you feel they were different though?
Yes.
I imagine there's a lot less player interaction on the 50-player server, right?
Yeah, well, that was just like there were only ever like 8 people on tops at a time. Meanwhile, the 100-player server has like 40 people on at once.
Yeah, okay.
So it's very different. Yeah, the feel is very different. But I liked it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I think I'm going to play more. I'm going to try playing on a bigger server next season for sure.
What do you hope to get out of it?
it's just more experiences. Like there's a lot of opportunities for like emergent gameplay, which I really like.
Do you have any interesting stories then in that case with
Not
emergent gameplay?
particularly.
No?
Not particularly. The one funny story I have is that we built our base and my friend was wandering around, and I knew that two guys that I work with had another base on this server, and were playing on their own. And we had set up our little fortress, and he was exploring while I was mining. And he said, "Oh, I found a base to our west," and we explored over there. And these were the guys I had played with before, and they had drawn dicks on like a ton of posters the previous time around, and I put them everywhere. And we were looking at their base, and I hopped up on a ledge and looked inside, and I saw a giant red this glyph with a giant black dick on it. And I and I asked them on Steam, I think I just found your base, and I sent them a screenshot of it, and they're like, "Yep, that's us." And I'm like, so little things like that were pretty funny.
Yeah, it's things like that that make the game like
Yeah,
good, right?
it is definitely more important the people you play with than the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
Having good people to play with makes the game a lot more fun. I mean, that's true for anything, but with Rust, it's very noticeable.
Right, yeah. I imagine it's a lot like Minecraft in that sense. I can't really imagine myself going onto a Minecraft server all by myself and caring about it.
Yeah,
in an hour,
Minecraft. You know? I mean, Minecraft servers last for a very long time. Yeah. So this is Minecraft with a much more PvP oriented bent.
Right.
Like it's a lot more just about killing other players and griefing them, and like that's the entire focus of the game. Is PvP.
Yeah.
But it's good. I like it. I'm going to play more of it.
You haven't played Ark, right?
I have not played Ark.
Oh,
apparently, Ark requires a lot of time, which is why I'm sort of not...
Seems like it, yeah. Yeah, like a buddy of mine was playing Ark, and they made their own server, and they decreased the time it takes to make a lot of things. So I think that's what worked for them, right? But then that's the same story, right? They only were able to play like with a group of their friends, all the same goals, all the same desires. So like that for them, that makes the game good. Unless you have a bunch of friends doing the same thing, I can't imagine myself really getting into Ark like that.
Yeah, Rust was fun. I think that you might like Rust. It might be more your cup of tea.
Maybe. A lot of people are playing it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good. I mean, for alpha, it's very fun.
Oh,
and alpha, I know that, I got a copy of it on sale for $6 that I gave to a buddy of mine because it was on the Humble Bundle sale. So maybe it might still be on sale. And if you can get it for less than $10, I definitely recommend it.
Less than $10, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I can teach you how it works, but it's pretty good. And I mean, what's interesting is that on the opposite end of that is the culling, and the culling's been through a lot of patches recently. And I have a copy in my inventory that I have to give you.
Yes.
But I really like the culling. I think that it's one of the better PvP games that's been released. It's getting some rough. It's been getting a lot of bad reviews because they've done a lot of major patches recently. So people are a lot of like
butthurt reviews,
complaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they've changed how combat works a lot, and they've tried to like tune it to be a little bit more fair, in my opinion, anyway. But a lot of people are just very peeved about how it works. I like the culling. I think as far as like PvP oriented games, there isn't anything like it, and the whole battle royale thing works really well. It looks okay, and the combat's basically like a really complicated game of rock paper scissors, but I like it a lot, and it's fun to play. And like the games only last a maximum of 25 minutes, and if you die, you don't have to stick around. You can just start up a new game because you only have one life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good. It's funny. I don't have a super amount to like say about the culling, except for the fact that I do think it's fun, and it's been sort of getting an unnecessarily like rough go of it with these like Steam reviews.
Do you know when it's going to be released?
Do
you know when it's going to be released?
I don't.
Because I just think it's interesting that it's making all these changes now that Overwatch has come out, Battleborn has come out. And have you heard of Arc Reactor?
Atlas Reactor?
Atlas Reactor.
Yeah, I played in the closed beta.
And what did you think of that?
So Atlas Reactor is interesting. Actually, no, you tell me first because you were the one bringing it up.
I just knew it existed, and I know who's making it. or rather, I know it's Glyph Games, right? The guys who did um, that one game that I played for a bit. Well, I know they have Defiance
Yeah.
and that other MMO, Archage.
Arcade, yeah.
Yeah.
So Atlas Reactor is interesting because you know how it works, right? It's a simultaneous turn-based game.
No, I did not know that.
So each player, it's like a MOBA style game, but each player has like a turn phase where you like make your move, and then like certain actions happen at certain times. Like they all have speeds. So like planning actions happen first, which are like traps and heals. And then there's dash actions, which let you like dodge attacks and maneuver very quickly. And then there's strikes, which are like normal combat attacks, and then there are moves, which is just movement. Um, and each player, it goes every player plans their moves ahead of time, and then the game executes them all at once.
Huh.
So it's about like planning out and like supporting your teammates with like these tactical moves. It's a good idea. I had a couple issues with it. The first is that you have to know what the other characters can do. The game is so dependent on knowing what the other characters can do, and it doesn't do a good job of explaining what all the options, what all can happen. Like
So you just have to keep playing it till you know.
Yeah, you really need a certain level of mastery to like really play the game well. And I mean, I don't know, the selection of characters wasn't super big. The game modes were kind of just deathmatch when I was playing the beta, so that was kind of meh. But it was neat. But like the characters are, there's like, I don't know, it was cool. I think that you could do a lot more with it, and I feel like they're for it to be worth buying right now, it needs to be a lot more refined. I mean, it is still in beta, so I'm obviously not being 100% fair, but needs a little.
I guess I was just surprised that the game like that wouldn't be free to play.
It was originally. It was originally going to be you get the game for free and then you unlock the characters. Now they're going the approach you buy the game and you get all the characters.
It's very interesting.
Yeah,
like I thought to differentiate itself from Battleborn, and
I think this is an attempt to I think it's an attempt to reap the success of Overwatch, because one of the biggest appeals of Overwatch for me is that I don't have to do any silly unlocking. I just have the game.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, that's a big selling point for me.
But the whole only watch thing with Overwatch, right? And a lot of people are not buying it.
Yeah.
I don't think Blizzard cares.
I think enough people are buying it.
Exactly, yeah. But there will be a bunch of people who never will or won't at any point soon. But it kind of interesting. I didn't know that it was turn-based. How does that compare in itself back to the culling, I guess? Would you compare the two at all?
No.
Would you put the culling in any of these fantastical shooting games?
No.
No.
The culling is closer to something like H1Z1 or DayZ or like Ark or the Rust than it is to any of these.
But lasting 25 minutes.
Yeah. It's just refined. It's a distilled battle royale experience. It's playing the Hunger Games. It's Hunger Games the game.
Huh. Yeah. Did you commit joint suicide with your lover?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Is that an option?
I have it. I guess theoretically we could kill each other. There's friendly fire.
Oh.
So we could kill each other.
Okay. Yeah, you haven't seen the movie though, right?
Hunger Games? I've seen the first one.
Okay.
It was meh.
Yeah. It's a meh movie.
It's a pack movie for sure.
No, it was even meh for me.
It was even meh for you.
Once you get to Mockingjay though, it gets pretty good.
Yeah, okay. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, you have to watch like all of it and then you're good.
Unfortunately, that's the case. Yeah.
That's stupid. That's not acceptable. It's actually just not acceptable.
I'm sure someone has said that about Lord of the Rings, now that I think about it.
I'm not getting into this.
Okay.
This is the place for civil conversation. Where we have civil conversations about civil things. Like shooting demons in the face repeatedly as the Doom Marine in what is possibly the best remake in years.
Talk to me about Doom. All I know about Doom is that it's very similar to Doom, the first one, and the art style was hyped to me before the game came out, and I was really into it. I'm loving that demonic, kind of futuristic.
All right. So Doom 3 is like a horror game, right?
Okay.
which is not what Doom was when it came out. Doom originally is a maze running shooter where you murder demons with reckless abandon and laugh about it. It wasn't scary. It wasn't horror oriented. It was about being an absolute badass and killing all these freaking demons. Okay? Doom 3 is a step backwards. Doom 4, aka Doom in all capitals, is about running around a level with ridiculous weaponry, killing demons, and basking in their bloodshed as you punch them in the face. The single player is so on point, and it nails the feeling that you want. Like, the level design is really good. You get to explore, you get to run around. There's lots of great like platforming options because you have a double jump, so you're very maneuverable. You can get around the level really well. You can like find secrets. There's tons of unlocks. You can upgrade all the weaponry in the game. It's just fantastic. And the difficulties are they feel very good. They don't improve the AI at all. They really just increase the damage you take. So the higher the difficulty, the more damage you take from enemy shots, and the less health you get from pickups. So there's like, it's pretty much what you would expect. I do like the addition of what is effectively a hardcore mode. There's the harder difficulties go ultra violence, nightmare, then ultra nightmare. Ultra violence is the last normal difficulty. Nightmare is where the game starts getting rude and really unfair. And then ultra nightmare is nightmare, but if you die, the game deletes your save file, which is awesome.
Like, completely...
you cannot access the save anymore. It is gone.
That's funny.
It just says, screw you, you died, game over. Start from the beginning.
How many levels are there?
About more than 10, less than 15.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
So it's a pretty robust single player game. I liked it a lot. Yeah, and it was great. Like, the story was basically just an excuse to shoot demons. The game is like campy. It sort of understands that the premise is kind of silly and it runs with it. While at the same time, like, the Doom Marine is just pissed. He's like, why am I here? Like, why did you bring me back? And he's just angry about everything. Huh. And the game's good. It's the perfect little, like, doesn't take itself too seriously. The game has 3 boss fights that are all loaded towards the end of the game, and those are really good.
Only 3 boss fights?
Yeah. A lot of the levels are just like point to point, and you fight like more difficult demons near the end of it. The actual only boss fights occur near the end of the game itself. And those bosses actually have mechanics and things that you have to like play around, like pillars you have to jump on to avoid attacks, and moves that you have to play around, and things like that.
Oh.
Yeah, so and those were a welcome surprise, which makes the multiplayer all the more disappointing.
I heard the multiplayer was...
So the multiplayer is obviously outsourced. I believe it was by a bunch of ex-Bungie devs, which is why it plays like Halo. It's a missed opportunity. I think that they could have gone a really good direction with the Doom multiplayer and basically made Quake. Because what we wanted was like... Well, I think what people wanted was a new arena shooter. They wanted like running around the map, get your power-ups, get your weapons, like not... Because what the Doom multiplayer effectively is a loadout shooter. It's Halo or it's Call of Duty. You pick your weapons, you pick your perks, you start the level. You don't get to change them in the middle. You have these weapons.
Right.
It's a loadout shooter, which is a shame because I don't think it needed to be that. And I think that I would have liked it a lot more if it were like an arcade-style arena shooter, like your Unreal Tournament or your Quake. And I think that it would have been a much better use of their resources to make it like that. Which bums me out.
No,
which bums me out. Because I think that it's with how great the single player was, id Software nailed it. Like the guys did the Wolfenstein remake recently, like Wolfenstein New Order, which is also amazing if you haven't played it. If you're looking for a good single player shooter title, the Wolfenstein New Order is fantastic, along with Old Blood, the standalone expansion. And Doom feels a lot like that. It's this return to form single player shooter, which is just a pleasure to play. It's so responsive. The frame rate never dips. It's amazing. It plays really well. It's very satisfying. I was worried that the executions and the glory kills would get repetitive, but none of the animations are particularly long, and they never really overstay their welcome. And they really just add to the excitement and it's a very visceral feeling, which I think is good.
Huh. I think I know what you mean. I think it's just interesting that they would go back to like an older formula, slightly updated, Yeah, because that's fresh.
Yeah, it feels good. There hasn't been an FPS like this in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I
Definitely
probably will pick it up when it's on sale. To be honest,
highly recommend it.
it is on the higher end of price range.
Yeah,
Yeah,
highly recommend it. It's
I
very
I,
very
I do
good.
like my single player shooters.
Yeah, it was a great pickup. I really enjoyed playing it. It was super fun, and my girlfriend's playing it and she's loving it.
Oh wow.
She's giddy every time she executes a demon. It's hilarious. She's having a blast with it too, and it's so just raw fun, and it feels really good when you beat like a room and you figure it out and you know where to like dodge, where to run, how to get the power ups. It's great. It's fantastic.
Huh.
Multiplayer sucks balls. It's
Yeah,
really a shame.
the one thing I heard about the multiplayer is that like I guess you had a good point about the arena shooter though. Like that's not what I heard before, but it's just you're able to upgrade your weapons in single player, correct?
Yeah,
And that just
can't do
wouldn't
that.
work in multiplayer.
Yeah, you unlock more weapons, but they're all the same. They're all like you can't like put different mods on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame. However, there is like a silver lining to this. Doom has done really well, and Bethesda does own the rights to Quake because they're the guys they're the guys who publish Quake Live. So Bethesda does own Quake, I believe. And I did hear a rumor that they were going to give the license to id and let them make a Quake remake. And if they make a Quake remake, then literally they win, and I'll retract everything I said because I don't care if the Doom multiplayer is bad. If they remake Quake with awesome multiplayer, that's amazing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that makes sense.
literally couldn't care. There's also a level editor for Doom, which I haven't really played around with, but it's pretty robust.
Any ideas for yourself?
You can make, I don't know, like I thought about, I have to fiddle with it, but I know that you can make multiplayer maps, you can make co-op maps, you can make single player maps. It's all like there's tons of options. It's a pretty powerful little editor apparently.
Wait, so you make a co-op map? There's a co-op single player mode?
No, you can't play the campaign in co-op.
Okay.
You can play you can play user created maps that are designed for co-op and co-op, but you cannot play the main campaign in co-op.
Okay. That's yeah.
Which is a shame.
But yeah.
It's whatever. It's great. Doom is fantastic. Play the single player and love it to death. It's worth the price of entry. It's very fun. I am playing it for the second time right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've upped the difficulty. I'm playing on Nightmare and I'm enjoying it a lot. So Doom kicks butt. Doom kicks butt. And I mean, like, on the shooter train, let's just get right to the title. I mean, we've been at it for what, 50 minutes, nearly an hour now. We can probably rap about Overwatch for a bit.
Yes.
So Overwatch is out. It came out 2 days ago, as of today, at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
I've probably played about 5 hours since Overwatch came out. Probably been about 5 hours of Overwatch.
Okay. I am probably a little less than that, but it's
very good.
Yeah.
It's still good. I mean, I don't know
gosh.
what else to say. The beta was pretty on point. I was pretty satisfied playing the weekend beta and the week-long beta before the launch, but Overwatch is real good. It's super fun. The characters are good.
Yeah.
Like, I've said all this before. I don't know what else to say.
It's just it was such a surprise to me. Like, I am not a shooter fan, but I love Overwatch.
Right?
Like, it's so like it's fun. I don't know.
It is
like,
fun.
Like I thought it was an interesting, like, to me it was very different to not have aiming with the right mouse click. Just basically taking that out. Only Widowmaker has it, as far as I'm aware.
Yes.
And maybe not Genji, Hanzo.
No.
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 Right. I guess he shoots down the scope every time you shoot. In general. Yeah. Yeah. It's just so simple. A lot of fun. I had like a set of favorite characters, and then I was just like, you know what? Let me try Junkrat, and then I got player of the game with Junkrat. So that was my let me just dust off my shoulders. Yeah, it's just like, what a fun game.
It's super fun. The characters are all really well realized. The game plays really well. Bastion is kind of ridiculous, and I've been playing a couple games with friends where all we did on a payload map was play an offensive Bastion, plant Bastion on the payload, and then use Reinhardt to protect the Bastion.
Yeah.
It's very dumb.
Yep.
It's very, very dumb. It's anti-fun, and I don't know what you would do to counter it. Probably like multiple Junkrats would have to be played, and probably a couple Pharahs. But it's a hard comp to beat.
Pharah does not do that well against Bastion, in my opinion.
Really?
I think Bastion could I don't know. I don't want to change the character, but he shouldn't be able to shoot Pharah when Pharah's up in the sky.
I don't think Bastion should be able to spin 100 degrees around. I think that's really bad. I think that he should be limited to a 180-degree field of view, so that if you get behind him, you have an advantage on him.
Yep. It's like... Exactly.
I mean, if you hit Bastion in the back, he has like a critical spot there when he's in turret mode. His little glowy box that's there, if you hit that, it's a crit.
Okay.
So there's that. But at the same time, like, I don't think he should be able to spin all the way around. I feel like that's kind of dumb.
But then again, how would he then differentiate himself from Torbjorn's turret?
By doing a lot more damage.
Yeah. No, that's definitely the case.
And turning into a freaking tank.
Yeah. Bastion, man.
He's a pretty pain in the butt to deal with. Always
Yeah.
salty about Bastion.
When there's a good Bastion on my team, though, then yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Good game. Good game.
It's just, I think that it's odd how much power a character that doesn't take that much skill to play has.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It isn't like Bastion is a very high skill cap champion. Like, you don't really dodge around. He has no mobility. Your entire plan is like set up and shoot people. That's it.
Yep. Like, really, he's only just... I was going to say he's not as beneficial in other maps as he is in others, but you know what?
Yeah. That's every character, though.
Every character, and yet it's always surprising. Like, having Torbjorn on an attack, it works. Like,
Payload is a weird equalizer, because a lot of the time you can, like...
Yeah, that's
use
true.
a defensive character on payload, because when you're attacking, you're also sort of defending.
Yeah.
Because you can like put things on the payload to protect it, you know, put a bunch of Symmetra turrets, put a bunch of Torbjorn, put a Torbjorn turret, things like that.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Favorite character?
Favorite character? I kind of like Reaper, kind of like Junkrat, kind of like Bash. I can't choose.
Get off the fence, man. The obvious answer is McCree. McCree's amazing.
Okay, I do like McCree. Yes, but he is not my favorite.
Boo.
Yeah.
It's always high noon, Matt. It's always high noon.
What time is it?
Yeah. The best is when they're in the middle of doing their ultimate and they die. Die, bleh.
Yep. Though that's happened to me way too often.
Death reigns from above. Or no, justice reigns from above. It's high bleh.
I have to learn how to be a good Mercy. I would like to learn how to play.
Yeah, she's
Mercy.
pretty fun.
And like, it completely changes the game when you have a really good Mercy. Like your team, well, it makes the team play riskier, and if you do it well, then they get away with it.
You can reward them for it, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Because she's got the best like single target healing. Like, you can bring someone from low to high very quickly, and the mix of that with like the damage buff is very good.
Yep. Yeah, I think she's way better than Lucio. Lucio's really the only support character I've been playing.
I don't know. Lucio's, I think, better.
Really?
Yeah. Because Lucio gets to heal you while like doing damage and disrupting the enemy team. Plus, Lucio's ultimate is actually the dumbest thing in the game.
I forgot what it does.
It's like an 800 shield to everybody in range.
Yep. Yeah, okay, when you put it that way. And I guess
Like,
the speed boost is nice too.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah, have you played with custom character settings?
Oh, like to change for each character?
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned a couple on that I wanted to switch out.
I haven't tried any yet, but...
I turned on always view health bars for Zarya, and I really liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it lets you know who to shield.
Oh, that makes sense.
So if somebody's taking damage very quickly, it's a lot easier to get a read on that way. You can see their health bar. So I really liked that.
Okay, that's true.
There's also one with Mercy where you can do like sticky healing. So you aim at a target, you press the button to begin healing, but you don't have to hold it, which means you can look around, and as long as the character is still in range, you'll heal them, which lets you start healing on a target, but use your shift to dodge to other characters, which I really liked.
That would maybe change things for me in Mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really liked that. So you can like heal the tank and then like dodge back to the sniper, you know, while still healing the tank as long as he's in range.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Any character that can heal can be set to always show health bars. So like Soldier 76 can do it.
I know Lucio has it's either always heal or always speed.
It's always heal unless you're holding shift.
Yeah, okay.
So it turns shift into a sprint key basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound that bad. And I know Bastion has always shield.
Always shield.
Yes. I didn't like that.
You mean Reinhardt?
Reinhardt, yeah. What did I say?
Bastion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Reinhardt has like right click to deploy shield, right click to take off shield, as opposed to holding it to have shield up.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I think I like holding it.
So do I.
Yeah.
What else was there? There's a few. I'd have to play with the features a little bit more.
Yeah, I still haven't played with all the characters. I haven't played Winston, for example.
Winston's interesting. The problem is he just loses to Bastion. He just dies.
Yeah,
he can't kill Bastion fast enough to like really do any damage. He is really good if they have like no Bastion and like some snipers and a healer though. Then he's very good.
Yeah,
because then you just jump at them, throw up your shield, and kill them, and it's amazing.
Yeah, he's one to watch out for. He's one to Overwatch out for. Yeah, I want to try Widowmaker a lot more too.
Yeah, she's fun.
Yeah,
she's really fun. I've gotten a lot better at dodging Hanzo's ult.
Oh,
when I hear him screaming in Japanese, I'm usually pretty good at figuring out where it's coming from and getting out of the way. I don't think I've died to less of them than I did during the beta.
They don't do that much damage.
Hanzo's ult like jibs anybody. I don't know what you're talking about. If you stand in it, you just die.
I have not had that experience, so maybe I've just had really high health characters. Like, yeah, no, I lose a lot of health, but I don't die.
Depends on how long you stand in it, basically, like anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's a few though. I've gotten really good at shooting the Junkrat wheel too.
Yeah.
I think last night I got like 5 kills on the Junkrat wheel.
It's just instant kill, basically.
2 kills with McCree, so 2 hits, 2 left clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Tried to play Reaper, sucked at it. It's all about positioning, and I'm just not good enough.
Yeah, that's what I like about Reaper, the positioning, because you get to stealth yourself. So it's like get in the perfect position, or go crazy and then stealth and leave.
Yeah. His ultimate's really good.
It is, and I think I finally got the hang of not dying.
I had a great synergy play the other day where I was playing as Zarya, and this other guy across the hallway was playing as Reaper, and his ultimate charged, and he ran out to do it, and I put my shield on him, which makes him immune to all CC and all damage, and then he just pressed his ultimate and got a pentakill, and it was the dumbest shit.
That's good synergy. That's good teamwork.
So that's a really good like thing with Zarya, is just protecting these like high threat characters who can kill entire teams.
Yeah, no, I actually haven't tried Zarya either.
She's hard.
Yeah?
She's hard to play, yeah.
Because
her damage is really bad unless she gets her charge up.
Okay. She's a tank, right?
Yeah. She's more of a support tank though than like Reinhardt.
No, yeah, that makes sense if she's able to dish out shields like that.
Yeah. You sort of sit in the middle ground and you like shield your allies as they take damage, and you lob the alternate fire on your gun, which is basically a plasma grenade.
Yeah. I guess that seems.
And then
hard.
once you can get to like 50 to 75 like charge, you can like start engaging the enemy at closer range using your beam rifle and start shredding people. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, what I'm thinking of is, what I want to ask you is, have you watched all of the Overwatch cinematics?
I have.
I have not.
Which one haven't you seen yet?
The Soldier 76 one.
Okay.
And I haven't seen the Pharaoh one.
There's no Pharaoh one. Is there a Pharaoh one? Did I miss one?
I believe there's a Pharaoh one. Or
There's a Pharaoh comic.
That's what I'm talking about. I haven't read any of the comics.
I read the Pharaoh and the Symmetra comic.
Okay. What about the McCree comic?
I have not read the McCree comic.
Yes, I know that exists.
I did really like the Hanzo Genji cinematic. That was very good.
I mean, it was quite obvious that was going to happen.
Duh.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, you were my brother the whole time. Oh, what are the chances?
Honestly, the best thing I can say about Overwatch is I'm going to keep playing it. I think that's the biggest compliment I can give it.
I will constantly, it's Hearthstone. Like, this
But
is
it's
how
more
I,
fun.
this,
It's so
yeah,
much
exactly.
more fun than Hearthstone.
And like, this is how I felt when Hearthstone came out. Like, wow, a quick game that I can play like quickly and put down again and like keep playing it. So I wonder what's the plan for the future of Overwatch though? The longevity of it. Like, I'm definitely okay with playing the same maps over and over again.
We need
right
more
now.
maps. It'll need to be more maps.
It'll have to be more maps, right?
Yeah, it will. More maps, more characters, but they can't be behind a paywall or it'll
More
split the player
characters.
base.
You really think so?
Yeah, more characters for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. More characters is definitely something they have to do.
Yeah, I'm not so sure on that.
For sure, more characters. 100%.
Why though?
It's going to happen. I'm
Okay,
not saying it should happen. I'm saying it's going to happen.
Okay, it's definitely going to happen, yeah. And but do you think it should happen, or do you not think it should
I do
happen?
actually. I think more variety is always good for a game like this, especially because like it's a lot easier to balance because the game can sort of float in perfect imbalance a lot more because like in a game like Heroes or League, like the character power level can be really warping because of like what the matchup is and you can't change at any time. But because Overwatch allows you to swap your character at any time, it's a lot harder to make a completely busted hero because usually there's something that counters it. So
Yeah.
it's a lot more loose like that, I think, which is really good.
I want to draw a parallel though, because it's the way it's set up is kind of. I know it's supposed to be like Team Fortress 2 or whatever. Doesn't it kind of remind you of a fighting game?
Yeah.
Right. And I suppose like Mortal Kombat introduces new characters. I'm sure all the other fighting games do. The Mortal Kombat's the only one I've ever.
I mean, it's the same with League of Legends. Like League of Legends has been compared to fighting games a lot like that too, because it's all about like character mastery.
That's true, and they also introduce new characters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are the new characters going to come from? Because they're going to have to give them new cinematics.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Freaking Blizzard has their own animation team now. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, and it shows because
They're gorgeous. The cinematics for Overwatch are gorgeous.
Like the cinematic is the game. Like it's
they're
just
like Pixar's. It's like Pixar cinematics. They're amazing.
I know. Yeah,
they're so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It's hilarious how it looks, and then the game looks exactly the same.
I know and that's what's great is that they can, because the game is very stylized, it can run on pretty much any system because it's not particularly beautiful. You know, it looks good. It looks good, but the graphics are stylized enough that it looks good no matter what settings you're running it on.
Yeah, exactly. I say it's beautiful in its own right. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is good. In fact, I'm probably going to play after we're done.
Yeah. No.
Let's play some Overwatch, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah. All right. And I think at the 1 hour mark, this is a good place to end as any. Next week, or not next week, but next episode, I want to talk about Stellaris because I played a bunch of that, but I don't want to load more onto this 1 hour podcast. I think that's a bit greedy.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. And anything else that may have come out yet, but I guess that'll be it for now. So for May 25th, 2016, I'm Kleb.
I'm Pack.
And we hope you guys have a good night.
Good night.